Hello, happy Wednesday, and welcome to this week's edition of Nourish with Emily Live. And this week, all week long, we're talking about healthy, sustainable changes that can help you build a healthier lifestyle that do not have to do with restricted dieting. So we're going to talk about one of the three of the three most popular diets I get asked about and people that have tried them in the past and what you need to know from a science perspective. So I want to know, which diet do you want us to debunk in the future? Are there diets in particular that you want us to look into or to give you feedback on? Leave those down in the comments below. If you're watching this live, let us know. If you're watching this replay, let us know down in the comments. We'd love to know when you are watching. Does 5 o'clock work great? Maybe you're making dinner right now and I'm keeping you company while you're making dinner. I would love that. I would love to keep you company while we make dinner. So hopefully you're joining us live. If not, you're catching this on the replay. We're going to start right off the bat because we've got a lot of things to cover over these next few minutes. But just as a reminder, you can still grab our freebie right now. It's our free guide for energy boosting meals that has our formula for these energy boosting meals right inside of it. It is one of our favorite guides that we have put together, something that you can start using tonight with dinner. It also gives you like 15-minute meal ideas or 15 different meal ideas as well. When you get this guide, it's delivered right to your inbox. So comment guide down in the comments below and I will send that over to you so that you can take a look into it. Let's dive into the ketogenic diet. So what is the keto diet? Well, the keto diet was originally put together for children with epilepsy. There was research that showed that with higher fat intake, it helps with reducing the electrical stimulation in the brain that can then help with reducing seizures for children. So a true ketogenic diet is actually low protein, low carb, high fat. It's about 4 to 1. So 4 grams of fat per every 1 gram of carb and protein. Usually there's less than 25 grams of carbs and protein a day when you're on a keto diet. Many people who are on keto diets report fast weight loss. This is because they are drastically cutting back their intake. They're feeling fuller faster because they're having high fat foods. High fat foods cause you to feel fuller faster. Fat is very complex. It fills you up fast. And they're also utilizing all of their carbohydrate stores in their muscles as well as the water stores that also go along in those muscles as well too, which means you're going to lose weight fast because you're becoming dehydrated. When they started using keto, and even now to this day for children with epilepsy, they have to be admitted to the hospital and their labs have to be in the right range for this to work. They have to be medically monitored to make sure that this will work for them. So the keto diets that we usually see on the market or people that say here on Facebook or on other social media sources that are doing them aren't true ketogenic diets. The diets that they are doing are just a low carb diet. They tend to be high in protein. They are probably not in ketosis or have a hard time getting into ketosis because the body is really, really good at making carbohydrates from non-carbohydrate sources. This means that the body can turn protein, which is what people are usually having an abundance of. The body will turn protein into carbohydrates through a process called gluconeogenesis. So the body is still making carbs through this process. You're not actually in ketosis. You're just on a restrictive diet. Now, there has been some anecdotal evidence, some limited research that has shown that a low carb diet can be beneficial for people with mental illness, especially with severe bipolar depression, with helping to level out some of the brain chemistries. However, this should be something that you are closely monitored on and something that we do not recommend to our clients to do because this is one of the diets where 95% of the time you will not be able to maintain the weight loss. Only 5% of people are able to maintain their weight loss from a restrictive diet. Keto is one of the most popular ones. It's one of the most popular search diets and it's one of the most popular ones that people end up falling off on as well. So ketogenic diet, people are probably not in a real true ketogenic diet. They're in a high fat, high protein diet, low carb diet, which means they've cut out some of their intake, which is going to cause weight loss. People that are actually in a true ketogenic diet who have ketones in their system, which are a lot harder for your body to handle, have to have a really low protein intake. So they're not doing dairy, they're not doing meats at all, they're not doing eggs, they're not doing protein sources. So that's our information on keto. Very hard to stick to, not something that we recommend doing in the long run. Let's talk next about Whole30. So the Whole30's original purpose was actually an elimination diet. It's very, very similar to the low FODMAP diet, which is a diet that removes many foods that are fermentable in the gut, which then can cause gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation as well. So the Whole30 was an original was an original elimination diet to see what causes issues. So it cuts out sugar, dairy, gluten, legumes, bread, alcohol, fried foods, and grains. So really you're only eating protein sources, fruits, and vegetables. So you're going to get some fiber, you're going to get some protein. Now the reason why it's 30, it's not related to 30 foods, it's actually related to the 30 days that people are only supposed to be on it. Whole30 is not a long-term lifestyle change. Whole30 is just something that's supposed to be done for a few days and then stopped, and slowly adding back those foods in to see what causes those issues. Now, my issue is when we take all of those foods out at the same time, we can have an issue with adding them back in slowly because we're like, I just want to have ice cream again. I just want to have a piece of bread. We also don't know if we pulled a lot of these foods away, which one of those foods were actually maybe causing you any issues to begin with. So it's very hard to pinpoint what the actual issue was if we're not pulling them away slowly or working with a dietitian to figure that out. Usually people will experience major weight regain after stopping these types of diets because they cut out a lot of your food. About half of your food sources are pulled out, or half of the food groups are pulled out from going on Whole30. So Whole30 is probably not going to be something that you want to do forever, probably not something that you're going to want to be doing at all. If you're having any GI issues, working with a registered dietitian is going to be your way to go to figure out what foods might be causing you issues. If you need to try out a low FODMAP diet to diagnose those issues, and then to go from there. Always work with a registered dietitian and work with someone too that's going to have tailored to you plans, like something that we offer inside of our signature nutrition coaching program to help you pinpoint what's actually going on. One of our clients had to be on a low FODMAP diet in the fall of last year because she was having many GI issues. We were able to take her through that low FODMAP diet, figure out there's only 3 foods, not this whole list of all these food groups, 3 foods that she cannot have. And it's like it's zucchini, black beans, and garlic. Those are the 3 things that cause her a reaction. Other than that, she can have everything else. So if you're on Whole30 and you're like, well, it helps me feel better, but you're also forgetting a lot of these nutrients, forgetting a lot of these foods, you might have other issues that can develop and some nutritional inadequacies as well. Now, wrapping up with intermittent fasting, because this is still a very, very popular one. What is it? So intermittent fasting is time-restricted eating. It's cutting down the eating window from maybe 12 hours a day to 10 or to 8 hours a day. Usually, this is involving skipping a meal. Research shows that intermittent fasting is no more effective for weight loss than a generally calorie-reduced diet. So if intermittent fasting is something that you've been trying, you're like, I'm losing weight, maybe we also think about adding breakfast back in, but we're mindful of the portion sizes. Maybe you find that with intermittent fasting, you have a harder time falling asleep and staying asleep. Maybe you find that your energy's in the tank. Maybe you find that you're more bloated after mealtime. You probably need to go off of intermittent fasting. And if you're looking to be able to lose weight and still eat breakfast, a registered dietitian like the Nourish with Emily team can help you. Breakfast is something that all of our clients are eating. It's helping them to start their metabolism for the day, wake up their bodies, and get them going. So which research shows that it is no more effective than a generally calorie-reduced diet at helping for weight loss. There has been some research that shows that it can help with reducing some of the fasting blood glucose levels, but not everybody experiences that result. Some people will find that their blood sugar levels are actually increased because their body is under a period of stress. So intermittent fasting is really not something that we recommend either. You can be in a deficit and still lose the weight without having to be in that intermittent fasting. Research also shows recently that there's an increased risk of death from heart disease in relation to intermittent fasting. So women, our number one actually killer is heart disease. It's the number one killer of women. This is not something that we really want to be looking at doing for the long run. With intermittent fasting, if we can start to work on eating balanced meals, maybe spreading out our food throughout the day, not having a really back-ended day as far as with eating, you're probably going to feel more satisfied and have better energy overall too. So those are the 3 most common diets that we get asked about inside of Nourish with Emily, what you need to know about them and how you can draw conclusions on whether they're going to be something that's helpful for you in the long run or not. Something that you have to consider, what you do to lose the weight will have to be what you do to keep the weight off. So sure, you could lose it on keto, sure, you could lose it on Whole30, sure, you could lose it on intermittent fasting. But if you want to be able to maintain that weight loss, you're going to have to be able to maintain that diet or lifestyle. So if you're like, oh, I only want to do this just to lose the weight, it's not going to be something that you should be doing forever. A registered dietitian like Nourish with Emily can help you build up a healthy, sound eating plan that's going to help you build a routine that's going to facilitate that weight loss easier with more sustainable change. We really focus on teaching you how to eat for the next 90 years, not just the next 90 days. So if you're interested, if you have questions about working with us, our signature nutrition program is open for enrollment right now, and we would love to set up a conversation with you. If you're looking to just get your feet wet and you just want community, you want a little bit of support, you want our resources, our monthly masterclass, and our guides and the Q&A, join our Nourish membership. It's only $29 a month. You can put it on your HSA or your FSA card. Same thing too with our signature nutrition coaching program. And it helps you get your feet wet and starting to work with us in that one-on-one capacity, but giving you that community support too that you get out of the Nourish membership. So thank you so much for watching. I'll link to everything down in the comments below. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you next week.